Hey there. So let's get physical. Get up and go challenge day 12. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Hope you used yesterday as a catch up day. I want to apologize, but I don't. It's the first day I've taken off since Christmas last year, Christmas of 2019. And I was having a sleepover with my granddaughter, and we just decided we needed a catch up day and a free day and did a bunch of stuff with the family, which was really, really fun and recharging. And right back at it today. Plus, 10 days in, about a third of the way in, I forget I go every single day. And I forget that everybody doesn't work at the same pace that I do or doesn't learn and grow at the same pace I do. And we need to take time off along the way to catch up, catch our breath, go back and revisit some things that we've talked about that we maybe didn't dig into deep enough. So today we will get back into, or we will really dive deeply into our SOAP framework with the S from SOAP. And I'm going to teach you a tool, which is also another framework called the who, what, where, when, why, and how that I learned in journalism. I'm going to teach you that, and then we'll dive into today's example. And I'm going to give a specific example. And I said, let's get physical because of I guess I got the keys here, of the 7 main areas of our life: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. Those are all kind of health related, right? Financial too. We all think about our financial health, our physical health, our mental health, our emotional health, our spiritual health, and especially our physical health. And then relationships and contribution. Of those 7 areas, a lot of them have to do with our health. So I like to start with physical, and I'll share why as I go into my story and my situation, what it is currently, and then what I want it to be, and why I like to start with physical. Depending on what's going on in your life, maybe financial challenges are more important to you and more critical and more urgent right now. So you want to start with that. Go ahead, use whatever is most urgent and important to you, and walk through this with me over the next 4 days. We are really going to break down this SOAP framework. And by breaking it down, we start to learn it and make it a part of our I call it my repertoire. Most people call it our routines, our habits, but my repertoire, my repeated behavior, a SOAP framework has become a part of that for a couple of decades now. I have been using this same process. I didn't always call it the SOAP process, although I probably could have, but I didn't. But during COVID, during this whole pandemic, as part of the Get Up and Go challenge, it's evolved and gotten better and better, and it makes it faster and easier for me to choose and make decisions and choices. It's how I decided to take yesterday off. After months and months of not taking a day off and just focusing on family, I was like, I need a reset. And so let's have a reset and a catch up day and do what we need to do to continue to get up and go and move forward every day and, just recharge our batteries. So who, what, where, when, why, and how? Where does this come from? Why do we care? Why is this a tool we want to use and know? Because it is a tool, it's the tool I learned in high school, way back in high school, which is like over 45 years ago, right? And so it's something I've personally used for a lot of things and a lot of different situations and for a really, really long time. Why have I used it? Because it works and it's powerful. When we find a framework that fits and works for us, we continue to use it over and over and over again. Why? Because it makes our life simpler, easier, faster. It helps us to make decisions. It helps us to feel better about our decisions and our choices. So the 5 W's and an H is from journalism. I learned it as part of journalism in high school, where when we were writing a story, when we were investigating something, when we were diving into something, when we were trying to figure out all of the facts, back when journalism was about facts, not about propaganda like in the Nazi days in America. Who, what, where, when, why, and how were the 6 questions you would ask and answer in every newspaper article, in every story that you wrote. And it's still the things people want to know today, although we're not getting a whole lot of that. We want to know who's involved. We want to know what the story is. We want to know why. We want to know what happened. We want to know why it happened. We want to know where it happened. Where did it take place? I mean, if it took place in some really remote place that will never have any impact on us, although we're a global world right now, it's going to be less important and we're less likely to tune into it than if it happened in our hometown or, goodness gracious, in our neighborhood. And then how about it? So whatever story or situation we're looking into, we want to ask those 6 questions: who, what, where, when, why, and how. Same is true, and we can apply this to the S in our SOAP framework. S stands for story or situation. A story describes a situation. So why would we not want to ask ourselves who, what, where, when, why, and how? Well, the who is always me. It's always you. Who is involved in the story? Well, it's your story. It's my story. So the who is always you, or in this case, me. Uh, what's going on? What's the situation? That's the current situation. We want to know the facts around and the reality around what's going on. Guess what? Who determines our reality? We do, right? You determine your reality. I determine my reality. But the story I tell myself of what's going on in my current situation, that is my reality. And it is your reality as well. So we want to ask ourselves who, what, where, when, why, and how about our current situation, about the story. So in this instance, if we're studying and working on our physical well-being, our physical body, what's the story we're telling ourselves? What is the story I am currently telling myself about my physical condition? And when I say physical condition, you get to define that however you want. But I think my nutrition, what I'm eating, my hydration, what I'm drinking. I noticed that over the last few weeks, I have been consuming a ton of coffee instead of all my water. And that's just my current situation. I'm drinking probably 6 to 8 cups of coffee a day again, and I've really upped my coffee consumption. And when I up my coffee consumption, I tend to reduce my water consumption and my hydration. So hydration, energy is huge to me. And the reason I eat and drink and take supplements and do everything that I do, and then it also involves, is because of I want energy. And then the other thing I think about is movement and flexibility and physical ability to get out and go, right? To get up and go. How do we get up and go if we literally don't have the energy or the physical ability to get up and go? So it's our movement, it's our hydration, it's our energy, it's our nutrition, what we're eating, and you know what we're feeding our body from a term in terms of actual food and supplements. I actually busted myself with Oreos at my workstation here, and I'm like, where did these come from? Well, I had my granddaughter over and she was here with me, and so I'm going to blame her, but I probably had those Oreos for something. I don't know why. Doesn't matter, but that also feeds into my current situation. So who, what, where, when, why, and how. Who, me, physical situation. What's going on? Now, if I take off my rose-colored glasses and I really look at what's going on, and let's just say I want to look at my current situation right now. Since COVID started, I have gained weight. Since COVID started, I have had more challenges with my knee and with my joints. Since COVID started, my stress level has gone up, and that can be emotional and minds and spirit, mental as well, and spiritual, but it does impact my physical well-being because stress has a physical component. It manifests itself. It shows up in our bodies in all different ways. Mine is I get this little creak in my neck and my back. It's just this weird little stress point, and that's how I know I'm feeling more stress. Now, since my granddaughter went to school, and my daughter, we had the night off yesterday, and we sat around the fire, and she was saying, you know, the reason this you're feeling more stress is because even though it was stressful to have Etta with you, that's my granddaughter's name, it made it so that you would structure your work in the morning, you would hang out with her all day, you'd go for a walk after she left, and then, you know, it was dinner time, and then get ready for the next day. So all your time was filled, and you didn't have time to think about or worry about or fill in any way. And she's absolutely right. I'm one of those people that I am stressed out when I don't have a good plan and organization for my time. So physically, that's been impacting me as well. I also, for different reasons, have let my morning routine slip a little bit since the kids have been back home. And that's on me. That's got nothing to do with them. But physically, I know that my morning routine is critical to me. So granddaughter back at school, slip morning routine. So kind of what's going on? You know, what's the current situation? And then who, what, where? Well, where is me, wherever I happen to physically be in my house, personally, Wisconsin. So I'm in Wisconsin. Who, what, where, when? When is it happening? Right now, because we're describing the current situation. Why is it happening? Well, I could blame it, or I can come up with excuses or a whole bunch of things. And I think I just talked a little bit about the why. My granddaughter's back at school, so I have more discretionary time and more things that I need to and want to. And I think I'm I'm digressing. So more time. And so I just talked, I guess I talked about the whys. And then how has this happened? I I've just gotten a little complacent and lazy and let things slip. So that would be the how, I would say. And it's all interconnected, but it's a lot of it has to do with the shutdowns and the things that we're experiencing as life is changing all around us. Guess what? Life is always changing all around us, and it's up to me, I know this, to structure things that work for me physically. But my current situation is not exactly what I want it to be. I don't want my weight to be up. I don't want my joints and my knees to hurt. I did just have a cardio exam, not a cardio exam, but my very first video doctor appointment, which was really weird but interesting. And I asked some questions. I said, I am feeling stressed out. I'm doing this. So we're going to check some things, but I don't think it's any of those things. I think it is just the dynamics of the world and what's going on around and the changes that I personally am experiencing. And so that's the current situation. Now we know the current situation, and we need to know the desired situation. Now, our action item today is to describe in one sentence our current physical situation, or our current whatever area situation we're working on, and then in one sentence describe our desired outcome, our desired, what we want. Because if we don't, we have to know where we are and where we want to go in order to fill this gap, right? And the Get Up and Go challenge is all about filling the gap between where we are and where we want to go. So where I am is I'm too heavy. I don't have all the energy I want. I'm stressing out about stuff that normally would just blow right off. And my morning routine has gotten a little out of whack and needs tweaking. Let's say those things. What do I want to have happen? I want to be at my ideal weight. I want to have a lot of energy, and I want to be flexible and be able to move so that I can, and I want the energy and the flexibility so I can do what I want, when I want, where I want, with whomever I want, wearing whatever I want, and I don't even have to think about it. That's what I want. I want my physical well-being to have processes and habits to the point that I don't ever have to really spend any mental energy or mental bandwidth thinking about it. I just have things automatically working in my life and keeping me at optimum health so I don't have to worry about it and think about it. And I had that pre-COVID and had things just clicking along. And then I let things slip during COVID, and they've gone up and down and up and down and up and down. I got really structured in the beginning when I first started watching my granddaughter. And as she's gone back to school, the beginning of September, I've let things slip. So that's it in a nutshell. Our tool today: who, what, where, when, why, and how. And we can use that to investigate and look at our current story, our current situation, and then what we want, what our desired situation is. So current situation, I guess I just described this. I don't need to do it again. But that's what our assignment is today. One sentence of each on where you are now and what you want. Maybe I lost my job. I want to replace my lost income. It can be as simple as that. And so you'd be working on probably financial. For physical, I've gained weight. I want to be at my ideal weight. I am stressed out. I want to reduce my stress. I have no energy. I want to have enough energy to do what I want, when I want, where I want, with whomever I want, wearing whatever I want. So whatever it is for you, a sentence beginning, sentence of where you are, what you want. And that's it. That's our challenge for today. Any questions, hit me up, because I'm not sure I did an awesome job explaining this story and the situation. But I think we all know the biggest challenge with our situation is being 100% honest with ourselves about where we are. Like if I were to go step on the scale, which my challenge is I can't see the scale these days, but if I were to get on the scale, I guarantee that my weight is not my ideal weight. How do I know? My clothes are tight. They don't fit. That's pretty easy. And that means I've gained weight. It doesn't mean anything else. Or I'm doing the wrong kinds of exercise and my body's switching around, but I know 100% that I've gained weight. So that is it. Have an awesome day. I'll be with you tomorrow with the O, which is my favorite part. I guess the whole framework is my favorite part. So I'll probably say O is my favorite part. But we'll be here with the O in soap tomorrow. And that is actually one of my favorite parts because it opens us up to possibility. All right, have an awesome day. Be with you tomorrow.